Hello, this is Charles, and this is Chapter 9 of Learning to Fly. In Chapter 8, Walter did indeed find the missing police informant, but of course it was too late. He found him dead in his home. What happens next? Stay tuned for Chapter 9. Chapter 9. Frank Lawrence took the stairs to the basement below the warehouse and knocked on the closed door. Rumor had it that the boss was in a foul mood, so he prepared for anything. "Come in," Catherine Mixon said. Frank walked into the small room, thankful that there was no one else being interrogated in there this time. He once again marveled at how attractive the boss was, but nobody who worked for her would dare approach her. Behind her movie star looks, she was as cold as ice. A fastidious workout routine gave her the body of a woman 10 years her junior, and she had used that to her advantage on more than one occasion, disarming men who weren't quick enough to see past their pretty exterior to the cold darkness inside. Frank was no fool. He had worked for her long enough to know what she was about, and it scared him. He stood inside the doorway, hands clasped in front of him. "Well, Frank, any more word on Walter?" "He was spotted going in and out of District 1 a couple times, and he stopped a robbery in Westwood about an hour ago, and what are you hesitant to tell me? Enrique got this video on his phone earlier today in Walnut Hills." He handed his phone to Mixon and waited while she pressed play, watching Walter enter the house on Hackberry and fly out with a body shortly before the explosion. "What part of town was this?" "Walnut Hills, Hackberry Street, the informant's house." "Who was he carrying out of there?" "Look at the video. It's obvious it's a body the way he's carrying him." "Are you telling me Larry staged the explosion to try to get rid of the body?" "Yeah, it would have worked if Walter hadn't shown up. Would have looked like a house fire, and the body would have been too burned up for the cops to know anything." "But that didn't happen, did it? Larry was too clever for his own good. Is he still around?" "He's upstairs, checking the last shipment." "Bring him down here, will you, love?" Frank and Larry entered the room 5 minutes later, both looking nervous. "So, Larry, how did things go with Mr. Hanley?" "I put him in his bed and blew the house. Cops won't suspect a thing." "Are you sure about that?" "The house went up in flames. It's all over the news." She handed him the phone and played the video. "Then how do you explain this?" "What's wrong, Larry? Cat got your tongue?" I don't know. You were way too clever. I told you to get rid of a body, and now the police most likely have him. I gave you a simple task, and you failed. I'm sorry, I'll do..." He was cut off by the sudden appearance of a hole in the middle of his forehead, and he pitched to the floor. Mixon laid the pistol down on a cabinet and looked at Frank, who was visibly nervous. "Frank, be a dear and get rid of him, will you? And please do a better job than he did. Oh, and see what you can do about the blood. I so dislike an untidy office." Walter headed home, stayed out of sight for a few minutes until the coast was clear, and then entered his apartment. He grabbed a beer from the fridge and went to his recliner. He took a sip of the beer, popped his feet up, and reached over to scratch Otis behind the ears. The dog whined in appreciation and leaned closer. After a few minutes, he noticed the eerie quiet of the apartment. Even if the kid was studying in the bedroom, he should have come out by now. This wasn't like him. "Hey, kid, you studying?" Walter called out. No answer. Walter walked back to the bedroom, and the laptop was there on the bed, but Franklin was nowhere to be seen. It was then that Walter thought to check his phone. Sure enough, there was a text. "Hey, had to get out for a bit. Already took Otis out and fed him. Be back by dinner time. F." Darn kids in there texting, Walter thought. Wonder where he went. Then he remembered Franklin showing him how they could track each other's cell phones, and he opened the app on his phone. It didn't take long for him to see where he had gone. He went back to his chair, finished his beer, and then left. A minute later, he was over Spring Grove Cemetery. There was Franklin sitting down on the grass in front of a headstone. He landed and approached on foot, sitting down next to Franklin and putting his arm around his shoulder. He looked at the inscription on the headstone. Carla Isabella Jones, December 25th, 1978, May 13, 2009. How you doing, kid? Franklin sniffed and cleared his throat. I miss her, Grandpa. Yeah, it doesn't get any easier. I've done a lot she wouldn't be proud of. You're still young, kid. Time to fix that. You think? Yeah, she'd already be proud of you. For what? Way you've helped me. Dude, you done more for me than I done for you. I don't know, kid. All that's happened to me, you helped me sort it out. Couldn't have done it without you. Your mom would be proud. Man, I ain't even finished school. Sure, kid, you've messed up a bit. Who hasn't? You can fix that, though. I know you can. You still got time to make her proud. Yeah, but she ain't around to see it. Look, you can't change that now, but you can live the way she'd want you to. That has to count for something, right? I suppose so. Let me show you something. It's not far from here. They walked to another part of the cemetery, a walk that took them nearly 10 minutes, since Walter didn't want to disturb the mood by flying. He stopped and knelt in front of another headstone, pointing it out to Franklin. Marcy Ann Hicks, beloved wife and mother, resting in the arms of Christ, January 20, 1954 through May 13, 2009. Notice anything familiar, kid? The same day? Yep, 10 years ago. We both lost a good woman that day. Man, she wasn't much of a mother, not with the drugs and all, but he broke into sobs. It's okay, kid. Marcy wasn't a perfect woman either. Hell, nobody is, but she was my wife. I didn't know your mom, but I'm sure she loved you. I don't know why she ended up like she did, but she was your mom, and there's nobody loves you like your mom. Be something wrong if you didn't miss her. Thanks, Pops. I'm not your Pops. Closest thing I got to one right now. You hungry? A moment like this and you're thinking about food? You know the calories I burn. Well, I guess I could go for some food. Good, they still got that all-you-can-eat thing at IHOP? I think so. Well, hold on then, I'm buying. A minute later, they walked into the IHOP and were seated. The server arrived at the table shortly after and recognized Walter immediately. Hi, this is great. Glad to see you in here. Do you need a moment to look over the menu? I don't think so. You still got that all-you-can-eat pancakes? If you order a meal. If that's the case, let the kid here order what he wants, and I'll take the pancakes. She took the order and went to the kitchen. Is that Walter, the cook asked? Yes, Jeremy, in the flesh. I'd best keep the pancakes coming. Last time he was in here, dude ate for over an hour. He's been in here before? Yeah, it was before anyone knew him. But after I saw him on TV, I remembered. Came in here one night and just pigged out. Does he have a young guy with him? Black kid? Yeah, looks like a teenager. Yep, that's him. He's going to be here for a while. 30 minutes later, Franklin had finished his meal and Walter was into his third plate of pancakes and showing no signs of slowing down. Hey, look here, Franklin said, showing Walter his phone. Says here I can schedule the test online. They got a slot tomorrow. You think you're ready? Walter asked between bites. Yeah, I've been studying and reading extra stuff that wasn't on the website. I'm ready. Just wish Mama... Oh, man. She'll be proud. Walter handed him a tissue. You think she can see me? Kid, I don't know. I'm not a theologian. If she's with the Lord, well, maybe he can let her know what you're up to. Maybe. She talked about Jesus when she wasn't without the drugs, you know. Well, we can hope for the best. I know my Marcy's there. Maybe she's hanging out with your mom. Maybe they're having a laugh seeing us. Yeah, that'd be cool. Say, slide your plate over here. You want a couple pancakes? Sure, you don't have to twist my arm. Well, what time is the test? Franklin hesitated a moment to swallow a bite. 9 o'clock in the morning. You'd best get a good night's sleep then. What are you going to do tonight? Probably fly around and see what trouble I can find. Just go to OTR. Always trouble going on down there. If I want to bust potheads and drunks. A lot more goes on down there at night, trust me. I imagine you could probably point me in the right direction. Possibly. Don't know many names, but seen a lot of weird crap last few months. Keep your eyes open. The weed smokers are the least of your problems. You want to get the harder stuff off the streets. I can tell you where some of the deals go down. How much do you know? Like I said, I've seen some stuff, kept my eyes open. You live on the streets, you learn to be aware of your surroundings. You see stuff going down, you keep your distance if you know what's best for you. Man, I have lived a sheltered life. I wish I had your life. You don't know what you're saying, kid. I think I do. You've been through some stuff, but you come through it pretty good. You're a little cranky sometimes, but I don't blame you. You act like this grumpy old man, but that ain't you. You don't know how grumpy I can be. Whatever, dude. You're hard on the outside and soft on the inside. You can't fool me. Maybe you bring out the best in me. Nah, you always been that way. You just let things get to you is all. Maybe. You want to let me know which streets I should keep an eye on? I might, but you gotta watch my back. What for? If you bust someone that knows me, I don't want any of them coming after me. How many folks know you? Hey, it ain't like that. I wasn't in any of that junk, but I was on the streets for a bit. Anyone thinks I ratted him out? He drew his finger across his throat. I gotcha, I think. Nobody likes a snitch. Exactly. I don't know many names, like I said, but you roll too many dealers up and any of their people think I had anything to do with it, I'll have to lie low. You're already lying low at my place. We'll just have to be careful then, okay? We'll have to watch when you go in and out, and how often you're seen with me. Might be too late for that. We've been seen all over town. There's a photo of us in the paper. Might be good for you. Help you with the ladies. Franklin took another bite and said nothing. Man, kid, you'd be blushing if you weren't black. You do have an eye for the ladies, don't you? Yeah. Been a while. A while since what? Since you had a date? Well, yeah. Never really had a way with them. Get all nervous and everything. Hey, I was that way when I was your age. Hell, I was scared stiff the first time I asked Marcy out. How'd you do it then? Well, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. This guy on the football team had a thing for her too. I knew if I didn't make a move, he would. I just did it. I almost wet myself, but I did. We went steady until school was over. Well, as steady as school kids do. We got out of school, I asked her dad if I could propose to her. You asked her dad? Yeah, kid. Things were like that back then, at least with her family. Real old-fashioned Baptist family. First thing he asked me was if I knew the Lord. Nobody that didn't know the Lord was going to marry his daughter. What did you tell him? I lied. Then I talked to Marcy. A week later, it wasn't a lie. We married the next year, only 19, and neither of us knew what we were getting into. But it worked. Lord, I've missed that woman something fierce. That's how it is, kid. Courage isn't not being scared. It's being scared and still doing what you have to do. That's how you overcome fear. You don't stop being afraid. You just tell the fear to go to hell and you fight through it. Wow, the server said. That was real inspirational. Here's another plate of pancakes. Hey, kid, Walter said as he buttered another pancake. She's kind of cute. Probably about your age. Franklin stuffed another bite of food into his mouth and looked down at the table. You can't tell me you didn't notice. If I wasn't old enough to be your grandfather. Come on, Gramps, you wouldn't. You're right, I wouldn't. But you could. Man, what you talking about? I'm just some street kid. She got a job and everything. Well, that's something we'll have to work on then. First step, tomorrow morning. You can't tell me you didn't notice her. Maybe. No maybe about it. Hey, is that my phone buzzing or is it yours? It's yours. Looks like your cop friend. Well, I hope you enjoyed Chapter 9. If so, please like and subscribe. If you want information about my other work, you can check out the links in the description below. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.